Okay, so when the students log in, this is what they will see. Okay, so every student, when they log in, they have the browse, classes, grades, and it opens up here and shows up like this. In your classes, it will also show here what assignments are due, and you can view what classes you're in. So this is a grade 8 student. When I go to the classes, he can see English, math, and science. So they're the 3 subjects he's in. And if you click into anyone, as I'm the math teacher, I'm going to click into this one. I can see there was this assignment that was posted. He hasn't started it. There's ones he has been working on. So there's 2 different ones there. And then you can see the ones that have been completed. And when they were completed, were they completed inside the time? So if it shows up red like that, it shows it was outside the time and things like that. If we go back into browse, it shows up the textbooks that we are using in grade 8. It will be the same for grade 5, grade 6, grade 7. You will have your math, literature, and then you will have 3 science. So the 3 science, Elevate 1, course 1, that's for grade 6, course 2, grade 7, course 3, grade 8. I'm going to start off with math because I'm the maths teacher in the school, so I can go through that one more confidently, and then I'll show you science and literature. But they're all laid out very similar. Okay, so clicking into math. And like I said, this is the same for grades 5, 6, 7. Once you click into math, it will open up here with all the topics that we're going to cover in grade 8. So we've started off this term with topic 2, analyze and solve linear equations. The students should know that themselves, so they should be able to pick the topic that they're working on at the moment. When you click into this, it breaks it down into all the individual lessons. So when I'm teaching this topic, I will pull my lessons from any one of these. So for example, I would click into lesson 2, and then all the different pieces that I go through. So if I do an example in the classroom, it's this example that I will use. So it might take a second to load, but it's exactly what I would show the kids in the classroom, except it's just on the PowerPoint version. For the students, there's some little videos to talk through as well. So there's little videos which they can work through. So it goes through the topic that we're covering. And then on the next page, it has the example that I would have done with the students in the classroom. Along with that, in each topic then, it has the key concept. So whatever that lesson is, it'll have it broke down into a nice simplified version and a key concept. So once you click onto the key concept, it will have the example here at the top, and then below it, it will have some questions as well, which the students can undertake. These questions are often covered in the lessons as well, because we pull the questions that we deem the most essential for the students to engage with in the classroom. We'll go back here. I'm just going to pull this up. And I'll move it here. So when we come back here then to our page, down the bottom, it's got additional practice. So whatever we have completed in the lesson, the students then can log on to this and find this additional practice resource where they can work on what was covered in the lesson, and it's broke down into different phases. So there's level of practice, and then a couple of questions and higher order thinking, and there's always this little assessment practice at the end which students can undertake. Has anyone got any questions so far into in regards to navigating the system around this page? No, all good? Okay, so when I go back into this.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
Like if they do the extra practice or whatever which you just showed me now, is there answers like to be checked, or do we have to send it to the math teacher to check it? Because
you can submit it into the math teacher, and the math teacher will then check it for you.
Okay, because I thought sometimes in the end of the book there are answers. There are some books that they got answers, so we can check it.
Yeah.
To teach them at times, because even we get confused.
Yeah, as far as I know, I've not actually found the answer section in this. The answer section is just in the teacher's copy.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah. So then you have these, all the different topics it's broken down into. Other things that's really, really beneficial is these intervention lessons. These are aside from the topics that we're covering in school, and there's a whole list of these. I think there's 25 different intervention lessons. So depending on what a student might be struggling on, say if they're doing place value in the classroom, they can come here and look and see if there's an intervention in there. and you can click into this, and it's got a couple of lessons where you can interact with those lessons and complete the activities in it. So there's intervention sections there as well for any students who want to do extra work. So there's 25, I think, there in total, and it's just across a range of different subjects. So once a student knows the topic they're covering in lesson, they can then log on to this platform and find the topic they're working with, find the lesson that they were working on, any additional practice they want to do, and so on. Down here at the moment, this is only available up until December, I think, but for the first 3 topics that we do in school, there is PDF versions. So 3 of the topics they've given PDFs because the kids are doing blended learning. So you can click onto this and you can download this as a PDF yourself. So that you just click on that link and it will automatically download onto your computer, and then I'll open it up so you can have a look. It'll take a second. One sec now. So it'll open up like this, and it'll have exactly what is in that unit, and it'll have it broken down, and it'll have all the different activities. So that's a PDF version for the students if they wish to work on any additional work themselves. So that's topic 1, and that's on real numbers. So there's a PDF version for 3 of the topics there, linear equations, but this is obviously grade 8. In grade 4 or 5, 6 and 7, it should be similar. 6 and 7 for sure. I haven't checked grade 5 at the moment. Okay, so that's basically the maths version. And science is very similar, and English is just a little bit different. There's one other thing, this folder here, mathematical practices animations. In here, there's 8 different videos which the students can watch, and it tells them like how to go about solving maths problems. So you're thinking, you're reasoning, making sure you're showing the steps, the methods and things like that. So they're just little animations which the kids can engage with throughout the year if they wish. So that's all available there on that platform. So I'm just going to go back quickly again. And that's maths. Has anyone any other questions on maths? The maths layout or the topic? I'll just go back in once more and show. So this is the topic. You've got an interactive version and you've got the student edition. So once you click into this, it will open up a page like the following. It's probably going to be a little bit slow for me today, but we'll work with it. And this version here, you can draw on it, you can annotate on it, you can highlight things and so on. So this is the interactive version. So the student edition, and this is one of the lessons that they will complete. It's the exact same that I do on the PowerPoint. So I did this last week with my grade 8s. There's tools here along the side. You've got a writing tool where you might want to make notes, and you've got other sections here you can erase and take little, write little text into it. So you can, so if there's something you want to make notes. So this is an interactive version which the students can use themselves. And you just flick through page by page, each lesson, or each part of the lesson. So it's just page by page. It's your textbook, but it's an interactive version of the textbook. So you've got your essential question, your example, and then a little try it. And if I just flick through a couple of pages, you'll get the math practices, the questions, and so on from that lesson. So this is an interactive. The kids can work on this one themselves at home as well to re-go over what they have done in lessons. So here you see the key concept. You've got your couple of questions, and then on the next page, it goes into the more detailed questions. So here we have. So there, you got your level practice, you got your harder questions, and then down below, you've got some word questions. The menu is here on the side. You can have a little notebook if you want to make little notes as you're going through it yourself as well. But that's just a really nice interactive way for the students to work on that platform. I'm going to exit out of that now. Just before I leave maths, has anyone got any more questions on the maths platform? We all good? Yeah.
I have a question. It says like when we, I just got her Chromebook. When I go to the classes, okay, it says, it shows whatever the assignment they have, right?
Yeah.
So how do I know that is it due or anything like that? Because I can see 3 in my daughter's Chromebook in grade
Okay.
6.
So if I go to classes here again, and I'm going to go to maths, and you can see your assignments. You can see here, not started, but it tells you here, due date, the 29th of the 9th.
Okay.
If you go to in progress, it'll tell you due date 27th of the 9th, 15th of the 10th, and then you can check your completed ones as well. So you can check the dates there. So you just go to classes, go to maths, English, or science. So I'll just go to science now again as an example. I can see there's 8 not started here. I can see there's 1 in progress, and I can see there's 1 completed. And the due dates are all beside them. So the due dates is there. So you can see, I'll just highlight.
Okay, so they do it in the Chromebook, right?
Yeah, you can do it on the Chromebook. So so this is a student's one now. If I click on this activity, I can start it now. So this is a science one. I've clicked on that activity. I can start that activity now. It's taken me into that. So I now need to start working through this. It's a science one, so I have no idea with science, but I would have to work through this. And once I get it, I click go to the next page and so on. So there's 6 pages there that I have to complete, and I'd have to write my answers in here and so on. So once you're in your Chromebook, you can work on that.
So okay. This assignment's from a teacher, right?
Yeah, this assignment is assigned from a teacher.
Okay. So will the teacher tell them to do it, or we have to check it? Or
so the teacher would have told them in the lesson. So the teacher would have told them in the lesson to go to your Google Classroom, click on the Pearson Realize activity, and then they would have had to go to that.
Okay, because there's nothing mentioned in the timetable, so that's why.
So it won't be on the schedule, it won't be in the timetable, it'll be on a PowerPoint. So I often put the link in, go to Pearson Realize, or go to your Google Classroom, click week 7 maths assignment, and that's where they have to work. Do parents have access to these classes? Parents don't, but it's the same login that the students have for all of these accounts. So you can log on to their Savvis account, just use their Chromebook, and you can log on to these accounts. If that answers your question.
Okay. Okay, so I have one question.
Yeah.
So I believe that there is ample enough time that if we are going to check as a parent on weekends the assignments, so there is enough time for them to complete on the weekends.
So it depends on what the assignment is. So sometimes I will give one, and this is an example, I will give at the end of a topic 5 questions for them to complete in the lesson. So they should have that one completed. I can check as a teacher if they've completed. But then other teachers, including myself, we might do an assignment for, say, like a revision of a topic. And they can do that one maybe over the weekend, and you can log on then as a parent to check, did they actually complete that? The due date will be an extended one for that one. So there's different assignments that the teachers assign. So there might be an in-class one, but there also then might be one that they have to complete in their own time. Does that help?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay.
So this assignment with the results, it's or marks, or it will be just assignments?
So some of them will have grades. All of the things that we do will go to our grade book. So if you look at this student again for an example, they all go to our grade books and contribute somewhat, but they're not a proper like end of term assessment. These are just our continuous assessments to see where they're at. So this one here, he got 6%. So we would go back over that topic again and see. I'd check as a teacher, how long did he actually spend on that assignment? Because often sometimes the kids spend 5 minutes and they end up getting a poor score. So they might have to revisit that assignment again. But then you can see this one, 96, 100. So depending on them, they all do contribute to our grade book, but they're not a big assessment.
So I believe that there is a timer, but there is a timer like that the teacher put the timer from one time to other, so that children, they can do it in between, or there is.
So if you look at one for maths, for example, so this one is not due until the 15th, and I sent this one out where I sent it on the 8th of the 10th to the 15th. So they have the whole week to work through this assignment. Does that clear your question?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, Perfect. I'm going to go and have a look at science now, and then I'll do English last so we can have a look at all three platforms. So maths, again, if you have any other questions, just ask me throughout the session.
Yes, I just want to know now, in my daughter's Chromebook, I can see 3 of the math and science is due. So can they do that? Can they do it?
Yeah, any overdue assignments, you can still click into them and complete them.
Okay, so so they have passed the due date, but they can still do it, right?
Yeah,
because,
they can still complete those assignments, yes.
Okay, so the teacher will correct it, right?
Yeah, so the good thing about this, it automatically corrects them assignments themselves. So
and we will know the standard, like where they stand.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, fine, great, thank you.
Okay, so science again now, so I'll just go back, so click in, this is grade 8 science I'm going into, so it's broken down into topics again, so depending on what you're doing with your class teacher, you will see the different topics, so it's got 8 different topics here. I'm just going to click into one again, and it's the same setup as maths. It's broken down into lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it has some topic resources. So once I click into lesson 1, very similar. So there's a little warm-up and lab. You've got your e-text, you've got an interactivity, you've got some videos, and your e-text stace cutting. So there's loads of, again, different resources that the kids can interact with. And there's also these lesson checks at the end. So once you click onto this, it will take you to a platform or another area inside the platform. Sometimes it can be a little bit slow. It is an American platform, so it depends on how much use it's getting. So it takes a little bit of time to load, but once you get into it, it's usually fine. It's just not loading for me today. But it's not loading. I'm just going to leave it because it's not loading. It should load usually. I can see there's 2 people chatting. Yeah, Jana? Jana, would you like to ask a question?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, so maths and science have very, very similar layouts. The English one is a little bit different. So I'll show you, I'm going to go through to that one as well. And practical lessons. At the moment, it's very, very hard to do science practical lessons. So the teacher tries to incorporate little experiments by showing them videos in the lesson. So for example, yesterday, I know Mr. Bin in grade 6, they were doing the moon phases. So he showed a video of a recorded experiment, which the kids can try and do at home. Because obviously at this moment in time, we can't do any of those real practical things, and some students just don't have the equipment and materials at home to undertake them. So we don't want to put pressure on the students or the parents to have to go out and get certain materials to complete experiments. So we're being very conscious of that. We try and instill them into the lessons where you can watch a video of it being undertaken. I hope that answered your question. I'm going to try this again. Okay, thank you. Okay, so here we go. Again, it's a little bit interactivity. So modern atom model, it has a little bit of word text there. It shows you what it looks like. You got your protons, neutrons, your nucleus, and then you flip through this and you build an atom. So it shows you this is how an atom is built. You can play around with the different features. And then when you have it completed, you tick this box up here and it'll show that you're completing page by page. So at the moment, I can skip to page 7. There's actually little questions that I have to interact with here. So there's all these little interactive things in the maths and science areas. Like I said, so science is very similar to the way maths is set up. But the English one then is a little bit different. And as I'm not the English teacher, I wouldn't be 100% competent on it, but I will show you, I'll talk you through it again. There's also these program resources in science. So you've got your little labs that you can do. These are like little experiments. You've got some STEM invention toolbox there. You've got reading strategies, so for students to understand how to read, and test taking strategies. So before you go into a test, you might read through this area so you can understand how to best apply and equip yourself to take an assessment. The last book now is the English one. So it's called Literature. Yeah, Mohammed, I've just finished with science. Is everything okay, Mohammed? Yeah?
Mr. What is the science for grade 7? You said
Grade
for grade
7. It's Elevate Science 2 course for grade 7, I'm pretty sure. So you go in there. So they're very similar laid out, and you just work through the exact. So you'd find off, Mr. Bin, what are you doing now at this moment in time? And then you'd go into those textbooks. Okay? Okay. English. It's called literature on here. Again, it's got a fairly similar setup, but it's broken down into unit resources. And I know Mr. Hamza and Mr. Nigel are using these resources, so the students would just have to make sure they know what topic they're covering, and then they'll be able to find it in the unit resources. There's this one here where it's the student edition, and this is the whole textbook. So it opens up in this other window, and I'll just give it a second. Like I said, sometimes it takes a couple of minutes for the platform to load because it is interactive and things like that. So it takes a minute or two, but once you get onto it, then it works fine. Of course, it won't work today. Yeah, I'm going to leave that load and we'll go back. So that's your whole textbook, the student edition one, and that's the interactive. Here you've got the unit resources where it's broken down into each unit. So you've got rites of passage, the Holocaust, what matters. These are what they're broken down into, the different units for grade 8. So for example, I think as far as I know, grade 8 now are working on this rites of passage. So again, inside here, it's broken down into the different stories. So I know for the students are working on different parts of this. So for example, they'd have to ask Mr. Hamza, which part are we on? And he'd say we're on medicine bag, so we go to medicine bag and we'd open up the medicine bag part. Very slow. Apologies for this. Okay, so then it will open up like what they have been doing in their lesson. On the side here, you've got your menu and you've got a glossary and a notebook again. And then down along here, you have the, let me scroll now. You have where you can play this whole text piece and they'll read it out for you. There's also, you can change the speed of it. There's down here your essential questions. You click into each of these and there's different areas. So you're comparing text to media. You have your key vocabulary. It'll have it open up here and you can open up that activity then by clicking on it. So these are what they're doing. This is what they'll be completing in lesson as well. So it's all available here, except the platform is running really slow today for me. So here, we've got the word over here. We can type in what we think the ranking is. So it says here, before reading, note how familiar you are with each word, then rank the words in order from most familiar to least familiar. So I'd be putting in here, wearily, I wouldn't really know that. So I'd be putting that as a 3. Straggled, 4. Fatigue, I know that one. Frail, and this one, 5. So that's an activity they can complete themselves. So by the end of this then, they will be able to come back and reflect on this and go, hang on, now I know I've got a deeper meaning of these. So then you have your first read, your comprehension check, and these are all things you can click into throughout that lesson. They're broken into 3 different sections. So the first one there was your essential, or you're making a meaning. The next one then is your language development. And then the last one then is your effective expression. So these will be things that the students are working on in lesson. So whether it's their speaking and listening, or whether it's their writing to sources. So it's all there again, but it's a little bit of a different layout compared to the maths and science. So this is where the kids would have to ask their teacher what exactly you're doing specifically in lesson. So if they were reading a piece of text like this, they can go home and read it themselves again. And down here, there's little pieces where it says a word. You can get the meaning, the deeper meaning of that word by just clicking on the little number above it. So it's a bit more interactive, and it's just the students, it might be a little bit more difficult to find, but once you know what you're doing in lesson, you should then be able to find it on this platform. And then at the end again, they have like little unit reflections where you can reflect on what you have done in that unit. And there's like questions and interactive bits again. So it's really interactive, these. So it says here, reflect on the unit. What were your goals? Discuss it. Reflect on the text. And down here, again, you've got a unit reflection. And you can open up that and it'll go through what was completed in that unit. Just take a second to load. So reflecting on your independent learning, and you can play through that video. I'm not sure how long it would be, but you can play through that and it's reflecting. So it's a 2-minute video. They're reflecting on what they've just done in that unit. Has anyone got any questions on the English literature?
Yes. Yeah, just I want to ask about this unit. They will cover all the subject, or the teacher he will pick some and he will work with the kids?
So the teacher will pick certain ones from this. So he will pick certain ones from this unit, which he feels is best appropriate. So like at the minute, I'm not sure what they're working on in English, but like when they move on to poetry, they'll obviously move into this section here. So it depends on what skills they're doing. At the minute, I think they're doing essay writing. So one of these will be linked to essay writing, and that's the one the teacher would choose.
Hi, Mr. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, please. I want to ask now, what's the plan for the student to do? Yani, there is science, math, English, and what's the plan? From where he can start and end in this application? How he can deal with it during the week, during the classes?
So I was speaking to you last week, and I was saying about so what I'm doing now and what I'm going to get the middle school teachers to do as well. So I was just trialing it out this week with grade 8. I'm going to post the lesson, so the specific link. So for example, we're working on, just an example, we're working on real numbers. I will assign this topic to them. I will assign the lesson to them so that they can access that themselves at their own time. I will be covering it throughout the week, but they will also have access to it. It will be posted onto their Google Classroom where they can access that. Does that help?
That's so nice. Yeah.
I'll show you an example where I've done it with grade 8 this week. Like I said, it was just a trial and error this week to see how it would work. It seems to have worked so far, so I'm going to do it this week or after half term with the rest of my team. So you can see here, Martin Rowlands posted new assignment, Savas Realize, and this is the interactive lesson 2.4 equations with no solution. That's what we were doing in lesson last week. So I posted it there for the students. Obviously, this is the teacher's view. The students would then just click on this link and it takes them straight to that point. It takes them straight. And then they can.
Yeah, it's so nice like this. Even if they want more practice, you can send the link for more practice, yeah?
Yeah, so most of the teachers now, I know for a fact, Mr. Leem now has posted like TT Rockstars and Exact Pat challenges, and the students just have to log on to them platforms. I'm going to log in as Mr. Riyadh. And you see, so I've just clicked on that link, I'm grade 8, and it's taken me, look, directly to that assignment. And I can see it's in progress, so I just click on this, and then I can interact with that and do as much of that as I want, or as little as I want. And then when I'm happy I've completed, I would just click turn in, and that submits it to the teacher.
Yeah, that's so nice. And it's more useful like this.
And it's the interactive one. So again, the kids can choose to draw, they can highlight different things if they want. So they'd be able to go, okay, this is the parts I need to focus on, and things like that. It's interactive for the students to work with. Okay, I've got one.
But Mr. I still have problem in the science. Still, it's not appear in my son application.
Okay, so today myself and Mr. Chris have rebooted the whole thing, and now the new bookmark that's on the, your bookmarks for Savas, that should take you directly into the student account, and it should show up like this students. It should show up like this now.
It's not shown. I tried many times. It's still the same. It shows the math and literature only.
Did you try the new link that's on the tabs now today, on the Chromebook tabs?
Which one?
So today, Mr. Chris would have added a new tab on our bookmark on your Chromebook, and it should take you directly to a page like this.
Because I didn't use it today with my son. So what I have to do from scratch, what I have to do?
So on the students, there's bookmarks here on the left-hand side. So you click that bookmark and then you would go to the Savas Realize one. There's a Savas Realize.
Okay.
So that's the same as Pearson. And you click on that one and it should take the student directly now to this area. They might have to log into their school email, but it should take them directly to this area.
I will try after the meeting. If I have any problem, I will send you a message.
Yeah, send me a message and I will help you out.
Okay, thank you so much.
We've got
one more question, Mr. Martin. This assignment in the books, it's the same or what they have in Mastery Connect? It will be together or instead of the Mastery Connect?
So these ones in these books are there to complement and supplement what we are doing in lessons. So they're to help out, they're there so the kids, if they ever want to go back and do a little bit of revision, they're there. The things we do on Mastery Connect, that's our continuous assessment for learning. So we cover a topic, we want to see quickly, like how well the students have done. We do a Mastery Connect, and that's just for us to check how they're getting on each standard. So the Mastery Connect is still going to be there once a week, whereas this is just showing you exactly all the content we're covering in the lesson. Some of the questions we will leave out of the books because we feel it mightn't be relevant to that certain topic, but it's still there available for the students if they want to do that extra piece of work.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Martin, I want to know that in the math it says it's grade 6 to 8. So 6 to 8 will be using the same textbook?
So they look different. It says 6 to 8, but the grade 6 one is separate to the grade 7 to the grade 8. So there are 3 different, actually what I can do, I'll log out and I'll show you. There are 3 different versions for, it says 6 to 8, but there are 3 different textbooks.
Because for me, I have just logged in my daughter's Chromebook and that's how it shows. That's why.
So if you look at this one, so this is grade 6, 6 to 8. I'll highlight it here on my screen. In red. So if you look at this one here,
it's not clear for us.
So that's 6 to 8 there. That's grade 6. This one here now, I'm going to draw around it in blue. This is a grade 7 one. So they're different. And I'll just quickly show you if I click in how you can see. So grade 6 looks like this. This is obviously teachers. Where am I going to go? So your topic here is using positive rational numbers. So that's a grade 6 one. If I go to grade 7, it's different. You're doing real numbers and operations. So they're all different. They do say 6 to 8, but they're all different. 6, 7, and 8 are different textbooks.
Okay, but I think it's better to do it when the teacher assigns something. If not, we will just get confused if we try to do more, I guess.
Yeah, we'll post out the lesson that we are doing that day or that week, so that it's there for the kids. If they want to interact with it that little bit more, it's there for them to work with.
Okay, so if they can do the ones that they are due, so we will know in which standard they are. Do they need more practice or not, right?
Yeah, so anything that's already there, they can work on that. Anything that's overdue, they can still work on them in their own time, and then you can get a feedback on where they're at.
Okay.
We've just about 2 minutes left. Has anyone else got any other questions for me related to our Pearson?
Mr. Martin?
Yeah.
Yeah, please. The question is that most of the examples that you just gave, it's for grade 6 or 8. What about grade 5?
Grade 5 is the exact same way. So grade 5, if I go to a grade 5 textbook, this is what grade 5 looks like for me as a teacher. Okay. Student's version, again, you have your topics. You click into your topic and it's broke down the same way. So you've got your lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. For example, I know grade 5 are doing place value and decimal to thousands. I go in here And it's again, I've got my student edition and teacher edition, whereas the students will only see the student edition. And it's broke down into these little bits again, where you have, there's more here because it's the teacher's version, but you have all the exact same things as the grades 6 and 8. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, so they're all set up exactly the same way, all the platforms. I'm going to have to leave it there because I'd say about 30 seconds left. I hope that was useful to everyone, and thank you for your time today.